Hello and welcome to Nightmare Lullabies. As you settle in for the night, prepare to be immersed in a world of eerie whispers and unsettling tales, designed to both chill and soothe. Now close your eyes, relax, and let the darkness carry you away. And if these nightly tales captivate you, feel free to join our community for more whispered secrets.
Dr. Amara Khalil sat in her small Mexico City apartment, the late afternoon sun of March 15, 2025, filtering through the dusty blinds, casting long shadows across her cluttered desk. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the weight of her years. Decades excavating ancient sites from Giza to Petra, her hands once sifting through sand for relics, now reduced to lecturing at local universities, her passion dimmed by time. A framed photo of her late mentor, Dr. Hassan el-Sayed, rested beside a clay shard from Luxor, his death in 1990 a mystery she'd never solved, his warnings about a hidden truth echoing in her mind. Her phone buzzed, an unexpected call from Rome, Italy, jolting her from her reverie, the sound cutting through the city's distant traffic hum. The voice belonged to Dr. Luca Ricci, a historian at the University of Rome, his tone urgent, his Italian accent thick. Dr. Khalil, I found your name in old files, a 1930s Luxor dig you investigated in 1995. It's tied to a 1960s Roman assassination and a cult active in Mexico City now. Can you help? Amara's pulse quickened, her hands trembling as she gripped the phone. The 1930s Luxor dig, a suppressed excavation near the Valley of the Kings, had haunted her early career, its records sealed after Hassan's death, linked to a 1960s plot she'd only glimpsed. Send me the details, she said, her Egyptian accent softened by years abroad, her voice steady despite the flood of memories. Luca emailed a file within minutes, photographs of a 1930s Luxor tomb, hieroglyphs warning of a cursed relic, a 1960s Roman police report on the assassination of Senator Marco Donati, and a 2024 Mexico City cult manifesto. The Order of the Sun, Reviving the Relic's Power, 2025 Awakening. The manifesto referenced a golden scarab, stolen from Luxor in 1935, its power tied to political control, its loss sparking Donati's death. Amara recorded a memo on her tablet, her voice low. March 15, 2025, 5:43 p.m. Luca Ricci's found a connection. Luxor 1930s, Rome 1960s, Mexico City 2025. The Order of the Sun, that scarab, it's killing again. She spent hours analyzing the file, cross-referencing hieroglyphs with her 1995 notes. The parallels undeniable, her mind racing to Hassan's cryptic warnings about a relic's curse. She booked a flight to Luxor, a 20-hour journey with a layover in Paris, her decision fueled by a need to confront the past that shaped her career. The airport bustle, the long hours in transit, gave her time to reflect. Her early days in Egypt, the 1995 investigation into the sealed tomb, the pressure from authorities to drop it, the whispers of a relic smuggled to Italy. Landing on March 17, Luxor's dry heat enveloped her. The city's ancient temples a stark contrast to Mexico City's chaos, the Nile's shimmer a fleeting beauty against the desert. She checked into a modest guest house near the Valley of the Kings, its stone walls and courtyard a nostalgic echo of her youth, the silence a stark contrast to the threat she now faced. Amara contacted Dr. Fatima Zahir, a retired Egyptologist in her 70s with a sharp mind, a colleague who'd stood by her in 1995 when others turned away. Fatima met her at a tea house in Karnak, the steam rising from their glasses mingling with the chatter of locals, the scent of mint a comforting anchor. Fatima's weathered face softened as she spoke, her voice grave. That 1930s dig, funded by British archaeologist Sir Edwin Hart, it uncovered a hidden tomb, the Scarab of Ra, said to grant power over minds. Workers died, cursed, Hart sealed it, took the scarab to Italy. I heard rumors. Donati's 1960s death was tied to it, and now Mexico? The Order's reviving it. Amara recorded the account, her empathy deepening as she pictured the workers, their stories lost to history. She spent the next morning at the Egyptian Antiquities Museum in Luxor, a grand building with endless galleries, requesting access to sealed 1930s records, her old credentials from the University of Cairo barely enough to gain entry after a tense negotiation with the curator. Amina Hassan, a stern woman in her 50s with piercing eyes, handed her a locked crate, her tone cautious. "This hasn't been opened since 1995. Your signature's on it. Be careful, Dr. Khalil." Inside were excavation logs, 1935 tomb entries, workers collapsing with seizures, a scarab described as gold with obsidian eyes, and a memo. Relic removed to Rome, 1936, Sir Edwin Hart for study. Amara recorded the find, her mind racing. March 17, 2025, 2:15 p.m. The scarab of R.A., taken to Italy, likely caused Donati's death. But why Mexico now? Hart's trail ends here. She traveled to the Valley of the Kings, the site of the 1930s dig, now a tourist hub with roped-off tombs, the air heavy with history. A local guide, Noor El-Din, a man in his 40s with a quiet demeanor and a deep connection to the site, his grandfather had worked the dig, joined her, his voice soft. "My grandfather said they found a golden scarab, glowed at night, drove men mad. He survived, but died young, raving about a curse. Hart took it, some say to Italy, others to Mexico later. I've heard whispers, the orders here, seeking it." Amara recorded his account, her empathy deepening as she imagined Noor's grandfather, a victim burdened by trauma, his story a mirror to her own losses. They explored the valley for hours, Noor sharing tales of workers. Men and women who unearthed the scarab fell ill, their bodies discarded, their families left in silence. Amara photographed the tomb entrance, its hieroglyphs warning of divine retribution, uploading a memo to her cloud drive. The tomb's sealed, but its shadow stretches to Rome, Mexico City, a cult conspiracy, reviving the scarab's power. Noor's grandfather's story drives me. This is personal. She reflected on Hassan's death, the neurological symptoms eerily similar to the workers, a suspicion gnawing at her. Could his end be tied to this resurrected past? That evening, Amara met Fatima and Dr. Chiara Romano, an art historian in her 50s with a sharp wit, at a riverside cafe, the Nile's flow a vibrant backdrop. Chiara analyzed the scarab's description, her laptop glowing with ancient art databases, her voice precise. The scarab of R.A., gold, obsidian, inscribed with mind control chants, a relic of the 18th dynasty. In 1960s Rome, Donati was killed for opposing its use by a cult. The Order of the Sun, someone's replicating it now. In Mexico, 2024 thefts of gold match its profile. Amara recorded the analysis, her voice tense. The scarab's active, a modern cult, using its power, killing again. Hassan's death, could it be linked? Chiara suggested a lead. Sir Edwin Hart, the British archaeologist who took the scarab in 1936, might have left records in Rome, a starting point to trace its journey. Amara spent hours planning her next move, poring over Luca's file, cross-checking with Chiara's data, the parallels to Hassan's illness fueling her resolve. As she packed in her guest house, the desert wind a distant lullaby. A shadow moved outside her door. She grabbed her recorder, its light on, and peered through the peephole. A woman tall in a black cloak, her face obscured by a hood, slipping a note under the door. Amara retrieved it, the papyrus-like paper crisp, the message etched. "Leave the relic or join the cursed. Mexico City awaits." Her recorder captured her gasp. March 18, 2025, 11:47 p.m. "They know I'm here, threatening me like the tomb workers. This cult's alive." She called Fatima, her voice steady despite the fear, and planned to confront the mystery in Rome, the scarab's shadow a deadly echo across time. Amara Khalil stepped off the plane at Rome Fiumicino Airport, the crisp March 19, 2025, air a refreshing shock after Luxor's arid embrace, the city's ancient skyline, domed basilicas and crumbling aqueducts, rising majestically against a backdrop of bustling modernity. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the familiar ache in her knees, a testament to decades spent excavating from the sands of Giza to the rocky cliffs of Petra, her hands once deftly brushing away millennia of dust, now relegated to lecturing at Mexico City universities, her passion dulled by time's relentless march. A framed photograph of her late mentor, Dr. Hassan El-Sayed, rested in her carry-on, his piercing gaze a constant companion since his mysterious 1990 death, his warnings about a hidden relic echoing through her memories. The threatening note from Luxor: "Leave the relic or join the cursed." Mexico City awaits. Weighed on her mind, its papyrus texture still vivid. As she navigated the terminal's chaos, the hum of travelers a stark contrast to the solitude of her mission. Her recorder captured her steady voice, tinged with resolve. March 19, 2025, 10:15 a.m. I'm in Rome. The 1960s assassination of Senator Marco Donati, tied to the Scarab of RA, linked to the Order of the Sun in Mexico. Sir Edwin Hart is the key, and this cult's closing in with every step. She checked into a modest hotel near the Pantheon, its cobblestone streets winding through a labyrinth of history, the fountain's gentle splash a serene counterpoint to the urgency pulsing within her. The room, with its faded frescoes and creaking floorboards, offered a nostalgic echo of her early digs, but the note's threat loomed large, prompting her to secure the door with a chair. She contacted Dr. Luca Ricci, the historian who'd ignited this journey, his call a lifeline from the past. Luca met her at his University of Rome office, a cluttered sanctuary of maps, manuscripts, and flickering fluorescent lights, his youthful face framed by round glasses, his Italian accent thick with excitement. Dr. Khalil, I've been digging into Donati's files. He was a senator killed in 1963, shot in his car, officially blamed on a rival faction. But I found his personal diary. Sir Edwin Hart visited him days prior, offering the scarab for a secret alliance. The autopsy, buried deep, showed a rare toxin, paralysis setting in within hours, death by nightfall, not a bullet wound. The cover-up was swift, too swift. Amara recorded the diary excerpt, her fingers tracing the faded ink, her mind racing. Hart met Donati, the scarab's curse, a toxin, not politics. This was a ritual killing, not a random act. They spent the morning at the Archivio Storico Capitolino, a grand archive with towering shelves of leather-bound volumes, its air thick with the scent of aged paper and polished wood. Luca navigated the bureaucracy with practiced ease, accessing declassified 1960s police files, his hands trembling as he unrolled a brittle report. Assassination of Marco Donati, March 15, 1963. Toxin detected in blood, neurological collapse, death within 6 hours, linked to a British artifact. Hart's name surfaces, a meeting at Villa Borghese, records redacted post-mortem. A grainy photograph slipped out, showing Donati, a stern man in his 50s with graying temples, seated beside a table, a golden object with obsidian eyes glinting under candlelight. The Scarab of R.A. Amara recorded the image, her voice low. Donati died from the Scarab's power, Hart's relic, a weapon veiled as art. Hassan's fears were justified. She spent hours poring over the files, cross-referencing toxin symptoms, seizures, paralysis. With Hassan's autopsy, the parallels a haunting mirror, her resolve deepening as she sketched the Scarab's form from memory, its curse a thread through time. Amara sought a reluctant informant, Dr. Sofia Moretti, a retired police detective in her 60s with a guarded demeanor and a history of probing Rome's underbelly. They met at a trattoria near Piazza Navona, the aroma of fresh basil and simmering ragu mingling with the clatter of plates, the square's fountains a distant murmur. Sophia's eyes darted, her voice a whisper. I worked Donati's case, officially a rival's hit, but we uncovered a cult, the Order of the Sun, tied to Hart. They used the Scarab's toxin, killed him for rejecting their deal to control Italy's government. Hart fled to Mexico after, took the relic. My partner, Antonio, dug too deep, died in 1964, same symptoms, silenced by a heart attack. I quit, but I kept this. She slid a 1963 memo across the table, its edges worn, detailing. Hart to Mexico, order base established, Scarab secured for a 1965 ritual, failed due to Donati's resistance. Amara recorded the memo, her empathy swelling. Sophia's partner, Antonio, Hassan's Scarab victims erased by the order. Her pain mirrors my loss, strengthening our alliance. Sophia's reluctance, a subplot of redemption after years of silence, hinted at deeper scars, her hands trembling as she recounted Antonio's final days, his rants about a golden curse. They drove to Villa Borghese, the sprawling park where Hart met Donati, its paths lined with marble statues and ancient oaks, the air thick with the scent of spring blossoms. A groundskeeper, Matteo Rossi, a burly man in his 50s with a weathered face and a gruff voice, allowed them access after hours, his lantern casting eerie shadows. Matteo shared a tale, his tone hushed. Old staff spoke of a foreigner, Hart, meeting a politician here late at night, arguing over a gold bug. Days later, Donati was dead, park locked down for weeks. I was a boy then, heard chants, saw strange lights near the temple of Aesculapius. Cult activity, they said, then silence. My uncle worked security, died young, muttering about a curse. Amara recorded the account, her mind painting the scene. Hart's deal, the order's ritual, the scarab's toll. She photographed the temple, its cracked columns a silent witness, uploading a memo. March 19, 2025, 3:47 p.m. This was the ritual site. Scarab's toxin killed Donati, a mirror to Luxor's workers, a pattern of silenced voices. They explored the park for hours, Matteo guiding them through hidden groves, recounting tales of night watchmen who vanished, their families paid off, the order's influence a shadow over Rome. Amara reflected on Hassan's death, the seizures matching the toxin's effects, a suspicion growing. Could the order have reached him in Egypt, a victim of their early experiments? The park's beauty masked its dark history, the stakes personal as she traced the scarab's path. That evening they returned to the hotel, Amara reviewing Hart's files, the silence broken by a crash from the hallway, the sound reverberating through the thin walls. She grabbed her recorder, its light on, and peered through the peephole. Two figures cloaked in black, their faces obscured by hoods, prying at her door with a crowbar, their movements deliberate, synchronized. Amara barricaded the door with a chair, her heart pounding, the chair legs scraping the floor, but they broke through, their eyes cold as they lunged with curved knives, the blades glinting in the dim light. She dodged, grabbing a heavy vase from the dresser, its weight a lifeline, smashing it against one's arm, the ceramic shattering into shards as he dropped a knife, a note fluttering to the ground. The relic explodes with you. The second figure struck, the blade grazing her shoulder, a sharp sting spreading warmth, but she rolled aside, seizing a bedside lamp, swinging it wildly, the cord tangling as it connected with the intruder's head, sending him staggering. Amara bolted for the balcony, the cool night air a shock, climbing down the rusted drainpipe, her hands slipping on the metal, the hotel trembling as an explosion rocked her room, flames erupting behind her, the heat singeing her back. She recorded her escape, coughing through smoke. March 19, 2025, 11:59 p.m. Attacked, bombed my hotel. I've got the note, the files, but I'm running, shoulder bleeding. She reached a narrow alley, the hotel ablaze, Rome's night lit by the inferno, sirens wailing as firefighters raced in, their hoses arcing water against the flames. Luca met her, his face pale, offering a safe house in Trastevere, his voice shaky. They want you dead. Hart's records are next at the Vatican archives. We'll go at dawn, rest now. Amara uploaded the night's events to her cloud drive, her shoulder throbbing, her mind on Hassan, his death, the scarab's curse, a personal stake driving her fight against the order's shadow, its relic a deadly echo across continents. The alley's darkness a temporary refuge as she bandaged her wound with a torn scarf. Amara Khalil awoke in Luca Ricci's Trastevere safe house. The faint hum of Rome's morning traffic filtering through the shuttered windows, the lingering scent of smoke from her hotel explosion clinging to her clothes on March 20, 2025. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the sting of her bandaged shoulder, the graze from the Order of the Sun's attack a sharp reminder of their reach, her resolve hardened by the note. The relic explodes with you. And the mission to trace the scarab of Ra from Luxor 1935 to Rome 1963, now to Mexico City. Her recorder captured her tense whisper. March 20th, 2025, 6:15 a.m. I'm alive. The hotel bombing failed, but the order's hunting me. Mexico City's next, the cult's base, the scarab's final resting place. The conspiracy, linking Sir Edwin Hart's 1930s theft to Senator Marco Donati's 1960s assassination, had claimed lives. Her mentor Hassan El-Sayed, Sofia Moretti's partner Antonio, driving her fight against the relic's deadly curse. Luca, his face pale from the night's chaos, brewed espresso in the cramped kitchen, his voice low. The Vatican archives are our last stop in Rome. Hart's records there might pinpoint the scarab's journey to Mexico. Your flight's at noon, 18 hours to Mexico City with a layover in Madrid. Amara nodded, recording his plan. Luca's right, Vatican archives, then Mexico. The order's closing in, but I'm not stopping. They drove to the Vatican, the city waking with the clatter of scooters and the aroma of fresh cornetti, the archive's grand entrance a fortress of history, its marble halls echoing with whispers of centuries. A curator, Father Marco Bellini, a wiry man in his 60s with a skeptical gaze, granted access after Lucca's university credentials were verified, leading them to a sealed vault, its air cool and musty. Inside, Hart's 1964 journal awaited, its pages brittle, detailing his escape to Mexico after Donati's death. Scarab of RA secured. Order of the Sun established. Mexico City base. 1965 ritual failed. Relic hidden in Teotihuacan, awaiting the 2025 awakening. A sketch showed the scarab, gold, obsidian eyes, its hieroglyphs matching Luxor's warnings. A map marking Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun. Amara recorded the journal, her pulse quickening. Hart fled here. Teotihuacan, the Order's ritual site, 2025 their goal. Hassan's death, the seizures, it's all connected. She spent hours analyzing the map, cross-referencing with her 1995 Luxor notes. The scarab's curse a thread through time, her shoulder throbbing but her focus unshaken. Amara boarded her flight, the 18-hour journey a blur of restless thoughts, her mind replaying the Luxor tomb, Donati's assassination, the Order's attacks, each a piece of a puzzle tied to her mentor's warnings. Landing in Mexico City on March 21st, the city's humid heat enveloped her. The urban sprawl a chaotic blend of colonial architecture and modern skyscrapers, the air tinged with street food spices and exhaust. She checked into a hotel in the Centro Historico, its tiled floors and wrought iron balconies a vibrant contrast to Rome's austerity, and contacted Dr. Elena Vargas, a local anthropologist in her 50s with a reputation for studying cults, recommended by Lucca. Elena met her at a taqueria near the Zocalo, her dark hair streaked with gray, her voice low. I've tracked the Order of the Sun. They've been active since Hart's arrival, a cult worshipping the scarab's power, mind control for their new dawn. They're in Teotihuacan, planning a 2025 ritual. April 1st, the solar alignment. Amara recorded her account, her empathy deepening. Elena's knowledge, Hassan's warnings, the Order's here, the scarab's curse active. This is personal. They visited the Museo Nacional de Antropologia, a sprawling museum with towering artifacts, its halls buzzing with tourists, the air cool despite the city's heat. Elena accessed restricted archives, sharing a 2024 manifesto. Order of the Sun, Scarab of RA, 2025 Awakening, Teotihuacan Ritual, Global Influence Through Chaos. A photo showed cult members in black robes, a golden scarab glowing under torchlight, their chants echoing in Amara's mind. She recorded the manifesto, her voice tense. The Order's Ritual, April 1st, Teotihuacan, the scarab's power unleashed. This mirrors Hart's plans, Donati's death. They met a local activist, Diego Morales, a wiry man in his 30s with haunted eyes, at a park near Chapultepec. The lakes shimmer a stark contrast to his fear. Diego spoke in a rush. I infiltrated the Order, saw the scarab, they've replicated it, using gold stolen last year. They test its toxin on the poor, cover it as disease. My sister, Maria, died last month, seizures like your mentor. Their leader, Father Gabriel Ortiz, runs it, obsessed with Hart's vision. I left when they killed a defector. Amara recorded his confession, her mind on Hassan. Diego's sister, Maria, Hassan's scarab victims silenced by the Order. This activist's proof drives us. Diego handed over a USB with ritual coordinates, warning, they'll hunt me, I'm leaving tonight. Amara and Elena planned a stakeout at Teotihuacan, using Diego's intel to map the site, contacting Detective Rosa Martinez, a tough woman in her 40s with a network of informants, for backup. At dusk, they approached the Pyramid of the Sun, the ancient stones casting long shadows, the air thick with anticipation, tourists thinning as night fell. Amara recorded the setup. March 21st, 2025, 6:47 p.m. Teotihuacan. Diego's coordinates guide us, but the Order's watching. They climbed a service path, Rosa covering them, and spotted a hidden cave. Ritual items, black robes, a 2025 schedule. April 1st, Scarab Awakening, Mexico City Chaos, Global Reach. As Amara photographed the items, cult members burst in, their chants echoing, knives drawn. Elena tackled one, Amara disarming another, but a third struck, the blade grazing her arm. her recorder capturing her grunt. "They've got us, fighting back." They fled, a chase through Teotihuacan's ruins, stones crumbling, the cult's torches flickering as they dodged pursuit. Rosa created a diversion, firing warning shots, allowing Amara and Elena to escape in her car, the cult's truck close behind, its headlights glaring. Amara recorded the escape. "They're chasing, the order armed relentless." Elena wove through Mexico City's streets, the downtown a blur, the truck gaining as Amara navigated via GPS, her arm bleeding but functional. They lost their pursuers near Coyoacan, doubling back to a safe house, their breaths ragged. Amara uploaded Diego's USB to a secure server, her voice tense. "We've got the ritual schedule, April 1st, Teotihuacan, but they nearly caught us." Diego texted, confirming his safe exit, but as Amara stepped into the safe house, the car outside sputtered, its engine failing, tires slashed, her recorder capturing her shock. March 21st, 2025, 10:47 p.m. "The car sabotaged. They found us again, cut our escape. Nothing's safe." The city's lights flickered, the order's shadow a tangible threat, Amara's fight deepening into a personal vendetta against the Scarab's curse. Amara Khalil stood in the sabotaged safe house in Coyoacan, the slashed tires of the car outside a grim testament to the Order of the Sun's relentless pursuit on March 21st, 2025. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the sting of her bandaged arm from the Teotihuacan ambush, her resolve hardened by the USB from Diego Morales, detailing the cult's 2025 ritual at the Pyramid of the Sun, scheduled for April 1st. Her recorder captured her tense whisper. March 21st, 2025, 10:50 p.m. "The car's destroyed. The Order found us again, cutting our escape. The Scarab's ritual is days away, and they're closing in. The conspiracy, tracing from the 1930s Luxor theft by Sir Edwin Hart to the 1960s Roman assassination of Senator Marco Donati, now Mexico City's 2024 outbreak, had claimed lives. Her mentor Hassan El Sayed, Diego's sister Maria, driving her fight against the relic's deadly curse. Elena Vargas, her anthropologist ally, arrived moments later, her dark hair disheveled from their escape, her eyes scanning the wreckage, her voice sharp. "They're desperate. Diego's USB, the ritual schedule, they know we've got them cornered. We need to decode the Scarab's power, stop this." Amara nodded, recording her resolve. "Elena's right, the USB holds the key, and we've got 9 days to act." The Order's shadow grows darker. She secured the USB in a hidden pocket, her mind on Hassan, his neurological death mirroring the Scarab's victims, a personal stake fueling her determination to unravel this cult's plan. They relocated to a new safe house in Condesa, a quiet apartment with reinforced locks, the city's nightlife a distant hum as they reviewed Diego's data. Amara contacted Dr. Chiara Romano, the art historian from Luxor, via a secure line, her voice steady despite the late hour. "I've analyzed the Scarab's inscriptions further. Hieroglyphs from the 18th dynasty, chance to invoke Ra's mind control, a toxin released through gold vapor, causing seizures, paralysis, death in 48 hours. The Order's replicated it. 2024 Mexico City cases, 15 deaths, matched the pattern." Amara recorded the analysis, her voice tense. March 22nd, 2025, 1:15 a.m. Chiara confirms the Scarab's curse, toxin vapor, deadly like Hassan, like Maria. The Order's testing it again. She spent hours studying the USB, cross-referencing ritual chants with Luxor's warnings, the parallels a chilling confirmation, her arm throbbing but her focus unshaken. Amara and Elena returned to the Museo Nacional de Antropología, meeting Dr. Javier Lopez, a young toxicologist with a nervous demeanor, in a quiet lab, its walls lined with microscopes, the air sterile but tense. Javier updated them on the outbreak. 10 more cases since yesterday, 25 total, all critical, from slums near Iztapalapa. Air samples show gold vapor traces, likely from the Order's rituals, seeping into homes. Amara examined the samples, the vapor's metallic sheen identical to Donati's 1963 autopsy, Hassan's symptoms, her hands trembling as she recorded. The outbreak spreading, the Order's testing on the poor, like Luxor's workers, like Hart's experiments. "We need to find the source, stop the vapor." They visited the Iztapalapa slum, a maze of concrete shacks, the air thick with the scent of cooking fires and sewage, children playing despite the tension. Elena introduced a victim's family. Luz Hernandez, a widow in her 40s with tired eyes, and her brother, Carlos, 20, who'd lost his sister Ana to the toxin in 2024. Luz spoke through tears. Ana worked at a market, came home shaking, couldn't move, died in 2 days. The clinic said it was a virus, but she breathed near a new shrine. The order built it, said it blessed us. Carlos added, his voice raw. Ana said the air burned. She knew something was wrong. Amara recorded their story, her empathy deepening. Luz and Carlos, scarab victims like Hassan, silenced by greed. This is why I fight. Amara took air samples from the shrine, sending them to Chiara for analysis, her results confirming the toxin. The vapors deliberate, order rituals dosing the air, testing exposure, a modern Luxor curse. Amara recorded the confirmation, her mind on history. March 22nd, 2025, for 32 p.m. The order's poisoning communities, Carlos's loss, Anna's death, it's systematic like Hart's cruelty. She spent hours with Luz learning Anna's symptoms, seizures, paralysis, death. Mirroring Hassan's, a painful revelation that the order's reach might have touched her mentor, a suspicion she couldn't shake. Carlos shared Anna's journal, its pages filled with sketches of a golden scarab, her final entry. The air sings, it controls us. They plan to confront Father Gabriel Ortiz, the order's leader, using Diego's intel to set a meeting. Amara posing as a relic scholar interested in collaboration. Detective Rosa Martinez arranged surveillance, her team monitoring from a van, Amara wired for sound, her recorder running. The meeting was set at a cathedral in Santa Fe, a modern structure with stained glass, the air humming with spiritual tension. Gabriel, a charismatic man in his 50s with piercing eyes, greeted Amara, his voice smooth. Dr. Khalil, your reputation precedes you. Luxor expertise, yes? The scarabs are salvation, mind control for a new era. Amara recorded the encounter, her tone measured. March 22nd, 2025, 7:03 p.m. Gabriel Ortiz, modern heart, hiding murder behind faith. Amara pressed, citing the Iztapalapa outbreak, Gabriel's smile faltering. Unfortunate side effects. Our rituals are controlled for the greater good. The scarab will unify Mexico, then the world, by April 1st. Amara countered, her voice firm. You're killing people. Ana Hernandez, 25 others, Hassan maybe more. This isn't unity, it's genocide. Gabriel's eyes narrowed, but before he could respond, Rosa signaled, her van's headlights flashing. A distraction as Amara slipped a tracker into Gabriel's robe. Retreating as cult guards closed in, Gabriel shouting. You'll regret this, Khalil? They regrouped at the safe house, the tracker revealing Gabriel's next move. A ritual at Teotihuacan, 50 kilometers north, scheduled for midnight. Amara recorded the plan. Gabriel's heading to the ritual site. We'll follow, raid it, end this. But that night, at an Iztapalapa community center where Luz organized a vigil for toxin victims, Amara drank from a shared cup, its taste metallic, her vision blurring within minutes, her legs buckling. Her recorder captured her slurred words. March 22nd, 2025, 10:47 p.m. Poisoned, vapor, scarab toxin, here at the vigil. They're here, watching. Luz screamed, helping her to Rosa's van. But a black van roared up, its door opening, a cloaked figure reaching for her. The order's shadow closing in as Amara fought to stay conscious. Amara Khalil slumped against the van's seat, the metallic taste of the scarab of Ra's toxin lingering on her tongue. Her vision swimming as Detective Rosa Martinez floored the gas. The black van from the Iztapalapa vigil, fading into the Mexico City night on March 22nd, 2025. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the poison's grip, paralysis creeping up her arms, her breath shallow. Yet her recorder captured her slurred defiance. March 22nd, 2025, 10:49 p.m. Poisoned, scarab toxin at the vigil. Rosa, get me to help, the order's after me. Luz Hernandez, the grieving widow from the slum, clung to her hand, her brother Carlos's sobs echoing, while Rosa radioed for medical aid, her voice tight. Hold on, Amara, we're heading to a clinic. The order's trying to silence you. They reached a discreet clinic in Polanco, its dim lights a stark contrast to the chaos, where Dr. Elena Vargas, the anthropologist ally, awaited with an antidote kit, her hands steady despite the urgency. Elena administered a counteragent, experimental, based on Chiara Romano's Luxor analysis. Its sting sharp as it slowed the toxin's advance, Amara's vision clearing after an hour, her arms regaining strength, though her body ached with exhaustion. She recorded the recovery. March 23, 2025, 12:15 a.m. Elena saved me. Antidote worked, but the scarab's toxin hit hard. Father Gabriel Ortiz is behind this, heading to Teotihuacan for a midnight ritual. The near-death experience, mirroring Hassan el-Sayed's final hours, deepened her resolve, his memory a silent motivator against the conspiracy tracing from Luxor 1935 to Rome 1963, now Mexico City 2025. Amara reviewed Diego Morales' USB, the activist's data pinpointing the Order of the Sun's temple. A hidden chamber beneath Teotihuacan's Pyramid of the Sun, 50 kilometers northeast, where Gabriel planned the April 1st ritual, using the scarab to unleash chaos. Elena analyzed the USB further, her voice grim. The ritual's a mass dosing, gold vapor from the scarab, enhanced for rapid paralysis, seizures in 12 hours, death in 24. They've tested it on 25 in Iztapalapa, planning to dose Mexico City's air on April 1st, then global cities, Rome, Luxor, London. Amara recorded her findings. The temple's the source, the Order's modern Luxor curse, and Gabriel is the new heart. We need to raid it. She contacted Detective Rosa Martinez, who assembled a small task force, 6 officers, including Officer Miguel Torres, a wiry man in his 30s with sharp instincts, to plan the operation. They prepared for the journey, a 1-hour drive to Teotihuacan, the city's lights fading into the dark expanse of the valley, the air cool with the scent of desert dust. Amara hired a local guide, Sofia Castillo, a rugged woman in her 40s with deep knowledge of Teotihuacan's secrets, her motorcycle a weathered beast parked near the site's entrance. Sofia shared a warning. The Order's been here for years, rituals underground, they've poisoned wells, sickening my village. My nephew, Juan, died last year, same seizures as your cases. Amara recorded her account, her empathy growing. Sofia's nephew, Juan, like Maria, like Hassan, scarab victims everywhere. This guide's personal stake strengthens us. They loaded supplies, maps, medical kits, Rose's team armed with non-lethal rounds, and set out at 1 a.m., the moon casting eerie shadows over the ancient ruins. The journey was tense, Teotihuacan's pyramids looming against the starlit sky, Sofia leading them down a hidden path, her flashlight cutting through the darkness, pointing out signs of the Order's presence, carved symbols, ritual offerings, the faint chant of voices below. Amara recorded the approach. March 23, 2025, 2:47 a.m. Teotihuacan. Sophia's guiding us, the Order's temple below the pyramid. The air's heavy, the chants growing louder. They reached a concealed entrance, a stone slab beneath the Avenue of the Dead, its hieroglyphs matching the scarab's inscriptions. The slab moved with Sophia's expertise, revealing a tunnel, its walls damp with moss, the air thick with the scent of incense. They infiltrated at 3 a.m., descending into the temple, its chambers lit by torches, black-robed cultists chanting around a golden scarab, its obsidian eyes glinting, Gabriel Ortiz at the center, his voice a hypnotic drone. Amara recorded the scene. March 23, 2025, 3:15 a.m. The temple, Gabriel's leading the ritual, the scarab's active, vapor rising. We've got them. Rose's team moved, subduing guards, but Gabriel spotted them, his shout echoing. Intruders, kill them. Cultists attacked, knives drawn, their chants turning to screams as Amara and Elena fought back, Miguel disarming a guard, Sofia using her knowledge of the tunnels to block exits. Amara found a ritual altar, vials of gold vapor, a 2025 schedule for Mexico City's air sabotage, and a ledger. Phase 3 trials, 40 fatalities, Mexico City expansion April 1st, global rollout May 2025. She recorded the evidence, her voice tense. The temple's producing death, 40 dead, millions at risk, all under Gabriel's orders. This is genocide. Elena photographed the vials, her hands shaking, while Miguel hacked a laptop, downloading data on production. 500 liters monthly, enough to paralyze a city. As they prepared to extract, an alarm blared, cultists rushing in, their numbers overwhelming, Gabriel fleeing down a side tunnel, his voice a taunt. The scarab will rise. They fought their way out, a chase through the tunnels, torches flickering, the air thick with vapor, Amara coughing as she ran, her recorder capturing her gasp. "They're after us, fighting back." Rosa fired warning shots, Miguel lobbed a smoke grenade, giving them cover as they reached the surface. Sophia navigating through the ruins, the cultists' footsteps echoing behind. They piled into Rosa's van, the engine roaring as they sped away, the cults' motorcycles gaining, their headlights piercing the dawn. Amara recorded the escape. "They're chasing," the Order's guards, relentless, through Teotihuacan. Sophia suggested a detour, leading them through a narrow canyon, the van bouncing over rocks, the motorcycles closing in, one cultist firing a pistol, the bullet shattering a window, glass raining as Amara ducked, her arm grazed by a shard. Rosa outmaneuvered them, taking a sharp turn into a dry riverbed, the cultists losing ground as the sun rose, the valley's heat a stark contrast to the night's chill. They returned to Mexico City, Amara's arm bandaged, Elena's face etched with exhaustion. She uploaded the temple data to a secure server, her voice strained. "We've got the evidence, Scarab's production, Gabriel's plan, but they nearly killed us." Sophia confirmed her village reported more deaths, a subplot of local suffering fueling their fight. As they entered a new safe house in Roma Norte, the door ajar, furniture overturned, papers scattered, Amara's recorder captured her shock. March 23, 2025, 10:47 a.m. The safe house raided. "They've been here looking for the data, the truth, nothing's safe." The silence was heavy, the Order's shadow a relentless predator, Amara's battle against the Scarab's curse intensifying, her mentor's memory a guiding light in the darkness. Amara Khalil stood in the doorway of the raided Roma Norte safe house in Mexico City, the scattered papers and overturned furniture a stark violation of their refuge, the humid morning air of March 23, 2025, pressing in through the open window. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the ache of her bandaged arm from the Teotihuacan chase, her resolve hardened by the evidence they'd secured. The Scarab of Ra's production data, a 2025 ritual schedule for Mexico City's air sabotage, and the Order of the Sun's ledger of 40 fatalities. Her recorder captured her tense whisper. March 23, 2025, 10:50 a.m. The safe house raided. "The Order is hunting us after the temple data, the truth. We're running out of places to hide." The conspiracy, stretching from Sir Edwin Hart's 1935 Luxor theft to Marco Donati's 1963 assassination in Rome, now the 2024 Mexico City outbreak, had claimed lives, like Diego Morales' sister Maria, and possibly Amara's mentor, Hassan El Sayed, driving her fight against the relic's deadly curse. Elena Vargas, her anthropologist ally, arrived with Detective Rosa Martinez, her dark hair pulled back, her eyes scanning the wreckage, her voice sharp. "They're desperate. Your Teotihuacan raid hit them hard, but they're not stopping. We need to strike back, use the data to catch someone higher up." Amara nodded, recording her resolve. Elena's right, the ledger named Sister Valeria Diaz, the Order's high priestess, assisting Father Gabriel Ortiz. "We'll set a trap, catch her, get to Gabriel." Rosa agreed, her task force depleted but loyal, Officer Miguel Torres among them, his wiry frame tense as they planned a sting operation, using the temple data to lure Valeria out. Amara contacted Diego Morales, the activist who'd gone into hiding, via a secure burner phone, his voice shaky. "Diego, we've got the Teotihuacan temple data. Valeria Diaz, can you get us a meeting? We'll protect you." Diego hesitated, his fear palpable. "She's ruthless, reports to Gabriel directly, but I can leak that you've got the data, set a meeting at an Order safe house in Xochimilco, tonight at 8 p.m. "I'm risking everything, Amara." Amara recorded the plan. March 23, 2025, 9:15 a.m. Diego's setting the trap. Xochimilco safe house, Valeria Diaz, tonight at 8 p.m. "We'll use the data as bait." Diego's bravery, a subplot of redemption after his escape, strengthened their resolve, though his fear hinted at betrayal, a shadow of doubt creeping into Amara's mind. They spent the day preparing. Rosa's team scouted the safe house, a crumbling hacienda near Xochimilco's canals, its perimeter marked by overgrown reeds, the air thick with the scent of water and decay. Elena rigged surveillance drones, her tech skills honed from years of field research, while Amara wore a wire, her recorder running, her arm bandaged but functional. She met Dr. Javier Lopez, the toxicologist from the Museo Nacional de Antropología, at a cafe in La Condesa, seeking more on the scarab's toxin spread. Javier shared a new report. 15 more cases in Iztapalapa, 40 total, all from vapor exposure. The order's rituals are escalating. Valeria oversees the dosing, testing the scarab's limits for Gabriel's global rollout. Amara recorded the report, her mind on history. March 23, 2025, 2:15 p.m. Valeria's the key, 40 victims, Luxor's curse in action, killing the vulnerable. The stakeout began at dusk, the hacienda's lantern lights casting eerie reflections on the canal, Rose's team taking positions. Snipers on rooftops, officers in boats, Amara and Elena in a hidden lookout, the temple data on a USB as bait. At 8:05 p.m., a black SUV arrived, Valeria Diaz stepping out, her sharp features framed by a hooded robe, a tablet under her arm, joined by a woman in a black cloak. The same silhouette from Luxor, Rome, Mexico City. Amara recorded the sighting. March 23, 2025, 8:07 p.m. Valeria's here, with the cloaked woman, the order's enforcer, hunting me since Luxor. We've got her. Rosa signaled, and the team moved, bursting through the hacienda doors, shouting, "Police! Hands up!" Valeria dropped the tablet, reaching for a hidden dagger, but the cloaked woman surrendered, her hands raised, her voice calm. "I'm just a courier. Don't shoot." Officers tackled Valeria, cuffing her as she struggled, her shouts echoing. "You'll never stop the awakening." Amara and Elena entered, securing the tablet, its screen open to a 2025 schedule. Phase 3, Scarab Ritual, Mexico City Air Sabotage, April 1st, then Rome, Luxor, London, May 1st. Amara recorded the evidence, her pulse quickening. The rollout's global, Valeria's down, but Gabriel is still free, planning to poison cities. Rose's team swept the hacienda, finding more, vials of scarab toxin, a map of Iztapalapa slums, a 2024 email from Gabriel. "The scarab of RA is our legacy. Luxor perfected, global control imminent." Amara recorded the hall, her voice grim. Gabriel is the mastermind. The scarab's a weapon, not a relic, aimed at control like Heart's vision. A subplot of betrayal emerged. Elena revealed a suspicion, her face tense. "I tracked Diego's burner. He called an order number before the meeting, tipped them off. He didn't expect us to move so fast." Amara recorded her confession, her trust shaken. "Diego, our informant, a double agent. We've got Valeria, but this betrayal stings." They left the hacienda, Valeria in custody, the cloaked woman, identified as Sister Camila Reyes, an order enforcer, cooperating, but Gabriel still free, the cult's leader out of reach. Amara drove to a new safe house in Polanco, the tablet secure, planning a raid on Teotihuacan's main temple. Her resolve hardened despite Diego's betrayal. She reflected on Hassan's death. A scarab victim, possibly from an earlier leak, a personal stake fueling her fight. As she reviewed the tablet, a coded message flashed on the screen, decrypted by a virus. "Scarab, Mexico City burns April 1st. Amara recorded the warning, her voice tense. March 23, 2025, 11:47 p.m. A message, orders strike in 9 days here in Mexico City. We're out of time. The stakes rose, the scarab's shadow a ticking clock, Amara's fight racing against a global threat. Amara Khalil sat in the Polanco safe house, the coded message from Valeria Diaz's tablet. "Scarab, Mexico City burns April 1st. Glowing on the screen, its ominous promise chilling the humid Mexico City night of March 23, 2025. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the ache in her arm from the Teotihuacan chase, her resolve steeled by the evidence they'd secured. The scarab of Ra's production data, the Order of the Sun's 2025 ritual schedule, and Valeria's arrest. Her recorder captured her tense voice. March 23, 2025, 11:50 p.m. The code warns of a strike in 9 days. Mexico City's air sabotage, then global. Valeria knows more, and Gabriel Ortiz is still free. The conspiracy, tracing from Sir Edwin Hart's 1935 Luxor theft to Marco Donati's 1963 assassination in Rome, now the 2024 Mexico City outbreak, had claimed lives. Her mentor Hassan El Sayed, Diego Morales' sister Maria, driving her fight against the relic's deadly curse. Elena Vargas, her anthropologist ally, paced the room, her dark hair disheveled, her voice sharp. Diego's betrayal slowed us, but Valeria's in custody. Let's break her, find Gabriel's plan. Amara nodded, recording her resolve. Elena's right. Valeria can expose the network, and we've got 9 days to stop Mexico City's fall. She contacted Detective Rosa Martinez, who arranged the interrogation at a secure police station in Santa Fe. Her task force bolstered by Officer Miguel Torres, despite Diego's double cross. Rosa led the session, her stern presence commanding, Amara wired for sound, her recorder running, her eyes locked on Valeria Diaz, the sharp-featured high priestess, her wrists cuffed, her expression defiant. Captain Isabella Gomez, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s with a reputation for cracking tough cases, took the lead, her voice unyielding. Valeria, your orders operation, Scarab of RA, the Iztapalapa deaths. What's the plan for April 1st? Valeria's jaw clenched, her silence a wall, but Amara leaned in, her tone calm. We've got the Teotihuacan temple data, the ledger, Diego's USB. You oversaw 40 fatalities. Sir Edwin Hart would be proud. How many more will die for Gabriel's vision? Valeria's resolve cracked, her voice low. The Scarab of RA is our triumph. Its vapor controls minds, paralyzes dissent, a global weapon. April 1st, we dose Mexico City's air, 100,000 doses, then Rome, Luxor, London, May 1st. Buyers pay billions, cartels, politicians. Gabriel is in Teotihuacan, finalizing the ritual, a solar alignment broadcast to trigger sleeper agents. Amara recorded the confession, her pulse quickening. Valeria admits it, global sabotage, starting here, funded by the Scarab's revival. She continued, her voice shaky. Gabriel's at the main temple, 60 kilometers north, a fortified site beneath the Pyramid of the Moon. He's obsessed, says Hart's research was genius. The Scarab perfected, sleepers embedded since 1965. There's a buyer, Don Carlos Ruiz, a cartel leader, meeting him tomorrow night with cash and a contract. Isabella pressed for details, and Valeria gave coordinates. A temple hidden in Teotihuacan's depths, its archaeological cover a mask for the cult's hub. Amara uploaded a new memo. March 24th, 2025, 1:15 a.m. Valeria's broken. Gabriel is in the Moon Temple, Ruiz is the buyer, strike in 9 days. We move fast. Amara drove to Teotihuacan with Elena and Rosa. The desert expanse a stark contrast to Mexico City's urban sprawl, the air dry with the scent of sage under the morning sun. She met a journalist, Sofia Alvarez, a wiry woman in her 40s with a keen eye for corruption, who'd exposed cartel ties to cults. Sofia shared a tip. I infiltrated an order gala, heard Gabriel bragging about the Scarab, a cure to end resistance. Ruiz is arriving tonight, 8 p.m., with $1 million in cash and a drug deal. Amara recorded the lead, her mind on history. Sofia's intel confirms Gabriel's endgame, same hubris that killed Luxor's workers, Donati. This hits home, Hassan's death fuels me. Sofia agreed to help, her courage a subplot of redemption after past silence on cartel corruption. They scouted the Moon Temple, a sprawling site with stone walls, its desert cover hiding a temple, the hum of ritual chants faint but present. Amara recorded the scene. March 24th, 2025, 3:47 p.m. Moon Temple. Orders Hart, Gabriel's lair. We'll raid tonight. Elena rigged a drone with a camera, mapping the layout. 25 cultists patrolling, a temple entrance, a solar array for the April 1st broadcast, matching Valeria's confession. Rosa assembled a task force, 15 officers, planning a silent approach, Amara and Elena as observers, their wires active. The desert's beauty masked its danger. The stakes personal as Amara recalled Hassan's tales of Luxor's cursed relics, their suffering a mirror to her own losses. At 7:30 p.m., the team moved, scaling the perimeter, the night air cool, the desert silent until a cultist spotted them, his shout alerting others. Amara recorded the chaos. March 24th, 2025, 7:33 p.m. They've seen us. Fights on. Officers subdued the cultists, but an explosion rocked the temple, flames erupting as Gabriel's voice boomed over a speaker. You'll burn with the Scarab, Khalil. Don Carlos Ruiz fled, abandoning a briefcase, but Gabriel escaped down a tunnel, his fit 55-year-old frame agile despite the chaos. Amara and Elena dove for cover, the blast throwing debris, Elena's leg grazed by shrapnel, her cry echoing as they scrambled out, the task force retreating. Amara recorded the aftermath, coughing through smoke. The temple's gone. Gabriel set a trap, escaped with Ruiz. Elena's hurt, but we've got the briefcase. Inside, contracts, cash, a 2025 schedule, Mexico City air sabotage, at 6 a.m. April 1st, sleeper activation across continents. Sophia photographed it, her face pale. This is war, Gabriel isn't done. As they drove back, a coded radio signal crackled on Rose's car scanner, decrypted by a virus. Scarab, Moon Temple burns, Mexico City next. Amara recorded the warning, her voice grim. March 24th, 2025, 10:47 p.m. Another message, same code as the tablet. Gabriel is striking the Moon Temple again, then Mexico City. We're out of time. The temple smoldered behind them, the Scarab's shadow a relentless threat. Amara Khalil gripped the steering wheel of Detective Rosa Martinez's car, the coded radio signal. Scarab, Moon Temple burns, Mexico City next. Crackling through the scanner, its decrypted message a dire warning of Father Gabriel Ortiz's next move. It was March 24th, 2025, and the Moon Temple smoldered in the distance, the explosion from Gabriel's trap still echoing in her ears as she drove back to Mexico City, the night air heavy with the scent of burnt desert. Her recorder captured her grim voice. March 24th, 2025, 10:50 p.m. Gabriel's message. Moon Temple was a diversion, Mexico City's the target, April 1st at dawn. We've got 8 days to stop him. At 65, the retired archaeologist knew her fight against the Scarab of Ra's curse wasn't over. The conspiracy tracing from Sir Edwin Hart's 1935 Luxor theft to Marco Donati's 1963 assassination, now the 2024 Mexico City outbreak, had claimed lives. Her mentor Hassan el-Sayed, Diego Morales' sister Maria, driving her resolve. Elena Vargas, her leg bandaged from the shrapnel graze, sat beside her, her voice tense. The air sabotage, 6 a.m., April 1st, from the briefcase. Gabriel is activating sleepers globally, starting here. We need his records, his full plan. Amara nodded, recording her concern. Elena's right, the Moon Temple was a hub, but Gabriel has backups. We've got Valeria Diaz's confession, Don Carlos Ruiz's abandoned contract, but we need more to stop the network. The briefcase from the temple raid contained contracts with Ruiz, a cartel leader, a 2025 schedule for sleeper activation, and a map of order hubs, Mexico City slums, Roman catacombs, Luxor temples, set to trigger after the initial strike. Amara contacted Captain Isabella Gomez, the policewoman leading the task force, her voice tense over the phone. We're interrogating Ruiz, he's giving up names, buyers, but Gabriel is the key. Valeria mentioned a safe house in Mexico City, a fallback for records. I'll send you coordinates. Amara recorded the lead. March 25th, 2025, 12:15 a.m. Isabella has a safe house location. Gabriel's records might be there, his full network exposed. They drove to the coordinates, a nondescript house in Narvart, its windows dark, the Moon Temple's glow a haunting memory. Elena scouted the perimeter, her drone buzzing overhead, confirming no guards, the door ajar. Gabriel had fled in haste. Inside, the house was a time capsule, dusty files, a 1960s typewriter, a computer set to a solar alignment broadcast, the same frequency as the order's ritual. Amara found a locked safe, its combination cracked using Hart's death year from Valeria's confession, 1975. The safe opened, revealing a trove, Gabriel's personal journals, 1965 to 2025, detailing the order's history. Hart's 1935 Scarab theft, Donati's 1963 death, embedding sleepers across continents, awaiting the 2025 alignment. A 2024 entry read, Scarab of RA reborn. Order funds the future, Hart's legacy complete. Mexico City falls first, then the world. Amara recorded the journals, her voice urgent. This is it, Gabriel's confession, the order's blueprint. Luxor's workers, Donati, all pawns in his game, now a global threat. Elena found a map, marked with sleeper cells, Mexico City slums, Roman catacombs, Luxor temples, each tied to a sabotage plan, triggered by the April 1st broadcast, its vapor-dosing air systems worldwide. Amara recorded the map. The network's scope, Hundreds of agents, decades in waiting, activated in 8 days. We've got to act. She reflected on Hassan's death, a scarab victim, possibly from an early leak, a personal closure driving her resolve. Sofia Alvarez, the journalist ally, arrived to document the find, her camera flashing, her voice low. This is bigger than I thought. Gabriel is a war criminal, hiding in plain sight. A subplot of betrayal emerged. Sofia revealed a suspicion, her face tense. I tracked Rosa's radio logs. Someone's been leaking our moves. Isabella's team has a mole, feeding Gabriel our plans. That's how he escaped the Moon Temple. Amara recorded the accusation, her trust shaken. A mole explains the safe house raids, the ambushes. But who? She confronted Isabella, her jaw tightening, but she admitted. It's Officer Miguel Torres. He's been on our team, but his bank records show order payments. He's gone, vanished after the temple. Amara recorded the betrayal, her voice grim. Miguel, our ally, a traitor. We're compromised, but we've got the records. Amara and Elena planned a final move. Intercept the April 1st broadcast at Mexico City's air filtration plant, using the journals to identify sleeper agents. Isabella mobilized her remaining team, purging Miguel's access, her voice resolute. We'll shut down the plant operation, arrest the sleepers, then hunt Gabriel. They drove to the plant in Azcapotzalco, the city asleep, the facilities hum a steady pulse, the task force taking positions as 5 a.m. approached. Amara recorded the setup. March 25, 2025, 5:15 a.m. plant stakeout. Orders first strike. We'll stop it here. Gabriel's records give us names, faces. As they waited, a shadow moved on a nearby tower. A figure, tall, scarred, his face obscured, watching through binoculars, the same silhouette Amara had seen in Luxor, Rome, the vigil. Her recorder captured her whisper. March 25, 2025, 5:47 a.m. He's here, Gabriel or his agent, watching us. They know we're here. The figure vanished, the hum of the orders broadcast faint but growing. The scarab's shadow a living threat as dawn broke, the plant a battleground for Amara's final stand. Amara Khalil crouched behind a ventilation duct at the Azcapotzalco air filtration plant. The faint hum of the Order of the Sun's solar alignment broadcast growing louder. The dawn light of March 25, 2025, casting long shadows across the machinery. The figure she'd spotted on the tower, tall, scarred, possibly Father Gabriel Ortiz himself, had vanished, but his presence lingered like a specter from Luxor 1935, Rome 1963, and now Mexico City 2024. Her recorder captured her tense whisper. March 25, 2025, 5:50 a.m. He's watching, Gabriel or his agent, here at the plant. The sabotage starts at 6 a.m. We've got minutes to stop it. At 65, the retired archaeologist felt the weight of her pursuit. The scarab of Ra's curse, its victims spanning decades, and its revival by the Order. A conspiracy that might have taken her mentor, Hassan el-Sayed, driving her fight to its climax. Elena Vargas, her legs still bandaged from the Moon Temple explosion, crouched beside her, her dark hair tied back, her eyes scanning the plant. The sleeper agents, Gabriel's journals named 3 here. Pablo Gutierrez, Sofia Lopez, and Raul Mendoza. They'll release the scarab vapor, sabotage the air, chaos to destabilize Mexico City. Amara nodded, recording her update. Elena's got the names, 3 sleepers activated by the Order's broadcast. Miguel's betrayal means they know we're here. Captain Isabella Gomez's task force was positioned around the plant. Snipers on rooftops, officers in vans, Amara and Elena as observers, their wires active, despite Officer Miguel Torres's defection. Amara reviewed Gabriel's journals, secured from the Narvart safe house, their pages detailing the Order's history. Hart's 1935 scarab theft, Donati's 1963 death, embedding sleepers globally, now activated for sabotage in 2025. The map marked the plant as the first strike, with vapor canisters to contaminate the air, followed by Rome, Luxor, and London. Amara recorded her resolve. This ends here. Luxor's workers, Donati, Hassan, Luz Hernandez's sister Ana, all tied to Gabriel. I'll stop him for them. Sofia Alvarez, the journalist ally, was stationed nearby, camera ready to document the takedown, her presence a reminder of the story's global impact. At 5:58 a.m., movement stirred. 3 figures emerged near the main control room. their movements deliberate, each carrying a canister. Isabella signaled, identifying them via binoculars. Pablo, Sofia, Raul are sleepers armed with vapor bombs. Amara recorded the sighting. They're here, releasing toxin, just as the schedule predicted. The task force moved, officers shouting, "Police! Drop the canisters!" Pablo, a lean man in his 40s, bolted, but Sofia, a woman in her 30s with a nervous glance, dropped her canister, raising her hands, her voice panicked. "I didn't want this. Gabriel forced me. My family's at risk." Raul, a stocky Mexican in his 50s, drew a pistol, firing wildly, his shot sparking off the duct as officers returned fire, hitting his leg, his scream echoing across the plant. Amara and Elena joined the fray, tackling Pablo as he reached a release valve, his canister heavy with vapor, his eyes wild. "The scarab awakens. You can't stop it." Amara disarmed him, cuffing him, her recorder capturing the struggle. Pablo's down, vapor secured, but Raul's still fighting. Isabella's team subdued Raul, his blood staining the floor, but Sofia's surrender revealed a subplot. She was a coerced sleeper, her family threatened by Gabriel, her voice breaking. "He's broadcasting from a temple ruin, near Teotihuacan. The signal's live now." Amara recorded her confession, her mind racing. Sofia's turned. Gabriel is at a ruin, activating the global network from a temple. Isabella called for a tactical unit, but time was short. The solar broadcast hummed louder, sleeper cells worldwide waking as the plant strike faltered. Amara spotted a helicopter on the roof, commandeering it with Elena, their plan desperate. "We'll chase the temple, stop the broadcast at the source." Sofia stayed behind, documenting the arrests, her camera flashing as the task force secured the plant. The canisters defused, Mexico City safe for now. Amara recorded the pursuit. March 25, 2025, 6:15 a.m. We're airborne. Teotihuacan ruins, Gabriel's temple, the broadcast's origin. "We'll end this." The helicopter roared over the valley, the temple, a crumbling structure near the pyramid of the moon. Visible below, its solar array active, the hum deafening. Amara and Elena descended via rope, guns drawn, finding Gabriel at the altar, 55 but fierce, his polished demeanor twisted with rage, the scarab glowing as he chanted. "You're too late, Khalil," Gabriel snarled, drawing a pistol, his voice a rasp. "The scarab controls the world. Its curse is my triumph, heart's dream." Amara tackled him, the gun firing, a bullet grazing her leg, the pain sharp as Elena smashed the array. The hum silenced, the broadcast cut mid-ritual. Gabriel fought, his fit frame fueled by desperation, but Elena cuffed him, his shouts fading as the helicopter lifted off. Amara recorded the capture, her voice strained. "Gabriel is down, broadcast stopped, but Rome, Luxor, London, they might still activate." Isabella radioed, confirming the plant was secure, but a gunshot rang out from the ground, Sofia's scream crackling through the radio. March 25, 2025, 7:47 a.m. Shots at the plant. Sofia's hit. Amara turned, the helicopter rocking, Gabriel's laughter chilling. "You'll never stop them all, Khalil." The gunshot echoed, a new threat rising. Amara's victory incomplete as danger loomed on the horizon. Amara Khalil stood on the helicopter deck, the hum of the Order of the Sun's solar broadcast silenced. The ritual cut mid-transmission as Elena Vargas cuffed Father Gabriel Ortiz, his polished face twisted in defeat. It was March 25, 2025, and the Teotihuacan ruins sprawled below, Mexico City's skyline a distant silhouette under the morning sun. But Sofia Alvarez's scream over the radio. "Shots at the plant, Sofia's hit." Cut through the moment, a gunshot echoing from the ground, a stark reminder that the scarab's network extended beyond Gabriel. Amara's recorder captured her strained voice. March 25, 2025, 7:50 a.m. Gabriel is down, broadcast stopped, but Sofia's been shot. There's more to this conspiracy. At 65, the retired archaeologist knew her fight against the relic's curse wasn't fully won. Elena, her leg bandaged, secured Gabriel, her voice tense. "We've got him, but the sleepers roam Luxor, London. They might still activate if the broadcast got through." Amara nodded, recording her concern. "Elena's right. The plant's safe, but the global network's a wild card. Sofia needs us." She radioed Captain Isabella Gomez, who confirmed the plant situation. Sophia's alive, chest wound, critical but stable. The shooter was a sleeper, Teresa Morales, not on our list. We've got her, but there could be more. Amara recorded the update. Sophia's wounded but alive, Teresa a sleeper means Gabriel held back names. We need to dismantle this fully. They escorted Gabriel to the Mexico City police station. Isabella's tactical unit landing the helicopter as evidence. Its solar array a key piece in the order's downfall. Gabriel remained silent, his cold eyes defiant even in cuffs, but Valeria Diaz, his high priestess, broke further under interrogation, revealing more sleeper names and safe houses. Mexico City slums, Roman catacombs, Luxor temples, each a hub for sabotage. Amara recorded Valeria's confession. Valeria's giving up the network, safe houses, agents, but Teresa's attack proves there are gaps. We've got work to do. The plant was secured, the sleepers Pablo Gutierrez, Sofia Lopez, and Raul Mendoza in custody. Sofia Lopez's coerced role, a tragic echo of Luxor's victims in 1935. Amara visited Sofia at the hospital, the journalist's chest bandaged, her face pale but her spirit unbroken, her camera still clutched. I got the shots, orders exposed Amara. You did it. Amara recorded the moment, her voice warm. Sofia's a fighter. Her evidence will go global for Luxor's workers, Donati Hassan. She reflected on Hassan's death, a scarab victim, possibly from an early leak, a personal closure driving her resolve. Sofia handed over footage of the plant takedown, a testament to their fight, her words a vow. I'll publish everything. Gabriel's legacy ends in shame. Amara joined a global task force, Interpol, Mexican police, Egyptian authorities, formed to dismantle the order's remnants, coordinating with Dr. Chiara Romano in Luxor and Dr. Luca Ricci in Rome. Valeria's intel led to raids. Mexico City's slums shut down, Rome's catacombs cleared, Luxor's temples secured, the partial broadcast mitigated by quick action. Amara recorded the effort. March 26, 2025, 2:15 p.m. Task Force is global. Orders collapsing, but Gabriel's silence means there's more he's hiding. Luz Hernandez, the slum widow, testified about her sister Anna's death. Her presence a symbol of closure. The 2024 outbreak avenged. Her quiet strength a reminder of the human cost. Back in Teotihuacan, Amara revisited the Moon Temple's ruins, now a crime scene, its desert cover silent, the temple debris a scar of their raid. She met Dr. Javier Lopez, the toxicologist, who uncovered more on the scarab's origins. Hart's 1935 theft, his collaboration with Italian cultists, his double game embedding sleepers for decades. Javier handed her a final journal entry, 2025. If I fall, the relic lives, a new mind rises. Amara recorded the warning, her voice tense. Gabriel planned a successor. Someone's out there, carrying the torch. That evening, Amara met Elena, Luz, and Rosa for dinner at a rooftop restaurant in Roma Norte. The city's lights a vibrant backdrop to their shared victory, Luz's gratitude a balm. You gave Anna justice, Amara, thank you. She recorded the closure. Luz's words heal. Luxor's workers, Donati Hassan, their stories end with justice. But as she walked back to her Condesa apartment, the air shifted. A faint hum, like the order's broadcast, vibrated through the street, subtle but chilling. She turned her recorder on and saw a figure in the distance. Tall, younger than Gabriel, his face hidden, a scar visible, the scarab symbol spray-painted on a wall nearby. Her voice broke. March 27, 2025, 11:59 p.m. He's here, a new mind, the hum's back, the network's alive. The figure vanished, the hum fading, but Amara's resolve hardened. An archaeologist who'd faced the relic's shadows and survived. Her fight unending, its echo a haunting call to action.